Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse of Rescue Nation, brought to you by X Cancer. Check them out at xcancer.com. First off, congratulations to Mickey Joseph on his first win as Nebraska's interim coach. And honestly, congratulations to the guys on the team for getting the win, man. Everyone knows, tumultuous season, to put it absurdly lightly, up and down, yo-yo of emotions. I feel like the bye week came at the perfect time. A little bit of a reset, a little bit of a gathering of the wagons, circling of the wagons and coming out. This was not the same team we had watched through the first 4 games this year. But I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. We have a habit. I'm going to start from the beginning, go to the end, give final thoughts, okay? So, of course, we start out on fire. We have scored on 4 of our 5 opening possessions of the year. Of course, we do it again. Opening score, a touchdown, okay? And so we start every game fast. That's what we do. Then we tend to have a little bit of a lull. But here's the deal. Indiana is really a second half team. They're really a fourth quarter team. They're really a comeback team. All 3 of their wins, okay, were comebacks this year. We were able to hold them off later in the game, but we're going to take this one step at a time. All right, I do want to give a shout out. Trey Palmer has the most receptions through the first 5 games of his career as a Nebraska Husker, of any Husker in history. You know, in Indiana's, they've got 3 wins. They're 3-2. They're a pretty good team. They don't have a whole lot of team speed, but their first score was actually a defensive score. Okay, Casey Thompson had been benched for that particular drive. All right, at this moment in time, I do not exactly know why. We were close to our end zone. We couldn't pick up the blitz. Okay, backup quarterback Chubba Purdy fumbles the ball. That's how Indiana got their first score, all right? Now, Nebraska was able, as we know, to rebound, to bounce back, to do their thing. Now, some people might criticize, well, why was Casey Thompson benched? Look at what happened. Well, hindsight's 2020. Mickey Joseph, whatever the reason is, and I'm sure it'll come out at some point, post-game press conference, whatever the case may be, he's holding these kids accountable. Yeah, it didn't go well. You know, maybe you don't do it close to your own end zone would be my only thought, but we're holding people accountable. You want people to play better, tougher, faster, more physical, hold each other accountable? Coaches got to hold them accountable first, and the players can hold each other accountable. So yeah, it didn't go well, okay? But this team clearly looks different, and it starts with some of the things that this coaching staff, Bill Bush, Coach Mickey Joseph, are doing. Now, holy Moses Malone, we scored a special teams touchdown. I popped big time for this. Like, wow, that was awesome. I was pretty happy to see his first block for a touchdown Nebraska's had in 13 years since 2009 versus good old Baylor. Big 12 days, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in all fairness, the defense played a much improved game tonight. Lots of things to work on, to improve on as a team. Indiana was without their top 2 wide receivers, but Bill Bush did a good job tonight. Now, our blocking has to consistently get better. All right, we've got to get better up front. Now, at one point in the game, Hunter Anthony came in at right tackle. I thought he played really well. Then Bryce Benhart came back in, and not so much. We've got to get better at blocking. You got to help me out with the Benhart thing. And I'm not trying to call out a college kid, but these kids are getting NIL money and all this other stuff. So I'm a little more willing to hold people more accountable via their names than I once was when I was talking about collegiate athletes. You got to help me out. Hunter Anthony played fine. He played good. Why not keep him in? And again, why not move Benhart to guard if you're insisting on playing him? But that's a topic for another day. There was penalties galore in this game, and Nebraska had 9 alone in the first half. Okay, I'll come back to more penalties here in a little bit. It wasn't a clean game. It was highly entertaining. We got the win. I don't want to say that the season hinged on this game, but I felt like there could be possibly momentum built off of this game, or a lot lost on this game had we lost. So they were able to pull out the win. That's the big thing here. Now, Indiana, they struggled in the first quarter. Okay, they had 27 total yards in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it kind of seemed like they figured some things out. They made some adjustments. My question was, all right, here we go. The other team made adjustments. Can we make counter adjustments? They had 192 yards in the second quarter alone. Now, again, I mentioned Indiana's a second half team. All right, in second halves of games, they've scored 76 points. They're plus 34 in the point differential department. In the second half, they had 3 comeback wins, 327 rush yards, 892 total yards, 48 first downs in the second half of their 3 previous wins in their games up to this point in this season. But credit to Bill Bush, credit to the staff. Again, we got things to improve on, but they made adjustments. And Indiana didn't all of a sudden just start pouring on the points like may have happened in the past. So I want to give a shout out. I want to give a credit to some of the adjustments that our coaching staff made. And here's the thing that I like the most from this game. Okay, the players had energy, they had heart, they had enthusiasm. Again, we looked like a different team. Okay, they acted like they wanted to be there. You didn't always see that, especially at parts of the Oklahoma game. I'm sorry I brought that up. Okay, now we're not exactly consistent at this point in time. All right, not exactly disciplined. All right, baby steps. Baby steps. All right, we got to take baby steps. And I'll take the baby steps that we made tonight. Now, when you talk about penalties, all right, it is what it is. We had the most combined penalties in a Big Ten game this year, 23. All right, over 200 yards of combined penalty yards. All right, Nebraska had 12 penalties, which is the most penalties in a win that Nebraska's had this century. And this is the first conference game this century where both teams had 11 or more penalties. All right, I smile, I laugh because we won. Had we lost, I'd be throwing stuff. We're getting better. We're improving in areas. Obviously, we got more areas to continue to improve. And at times, I was not thrilled by the play calling tonight. Maybe we could get a little bit more consistent and improved in some of the play calling throughout the game for 4 quarters. Okay, and I got a kick out of this. John Bishop on Twitter called at one point this an abomination of football. I think he said something about, could the game just end? Now, if you were wanting to watch good football when you watch this game, not so much. But if you were wanting to watch improved football, yes, absolutely. If you were wanting to watch a team that I'm now much more excited to watch going forward, I was interested before just to see what would happen. Now I'm interested / excited. Okay. I'm not all of a sudden saying we're going to win the national title or anything like that, but I'm interested / excited to see what we can do going forward, how we can improve, how we can play better. Just energy, enthusiasm, aggressiveness, a little bit of violence on defense. Like, it's crazy. Who knew physical practices and actually tackling would made a difference? All right, Trey Palmer, player of the game probably. He's 5th in the Big Ten in receiving yards right now. He's averaging over 80 receiving yards a game. He had 157 receiving yards this game. Anthony Grant is a stud, 32 carries, heavy workload, 136 rushing yards tonight. He's averaging well over 100 yards per game rushing as well. These guys are game changers. Now I want to give a shout out to Bill Bush, okay, because he did a good job on defense. Simplified the defense. That's when you simplify things, you allow athletes to play faster. And what you saw was athletes, because we have them, educate yourself, do a Google search, and look at the types of players we have compared to other schools that we're playing. Okay, we have athletes. When you simplify and let them be athletic and play fast, this is what happens. Again, things to work on, things to improve, no doubt. But here's an interesting stat. The defense held Indiana to 5 total yards in the 4th quarter. All right. Like this video if you're excited the Huskers won. This video should get about 2 billion likes. Obviously, there's not 2 billion Husker fans, but there should be. Also, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Okay, there was pluses. There was things we got to work on. What's your overall reaction? What's your excitement level? What's your interest level going forward? How important was this game to the Huskers to getting a win? I feel like it was very important coming out of a bye. Okay, and again, I don't want to overstate one game, but I just felt like for the momentum of the rest of the season, this game mattered more than most games. All right, until next time, Husker Nation, go big, red noise. Remember, throw the bug. This show is brought to you by X-Cancer. Join the fight at xcancerstore.com and support your loved ones, your neighbors, and cancer fighters all over the world and help them gain access to revolutionary treatments. xcancerstore.com has a wide variety of t-shirts and merchandise supporting a wide variety of cancer battles so you can show off the colors that matter. Proceeds from each purchase not only help those at home, but also cancer fighters in Tanzania, Africa. Check them out at xcancerstore.com.